Welcome back, everyone. Toys is here, and I am back yet again to serve up yet another NECA Toys Disney's Gargoyles video. And today, very excited because, these kind of come out every once in a while, which is ideal at this point, right? But today, we finally have Hudson, the Ultimate Action Figure, the old curmudgeon-y old gargoyle. He just likes reclining, right? Watching his stories. Check out the artwork on that box, though. That is epic, and I really like that they put the castle way up there in the corner. That's awesome. On the sides of the box, you got really nice photos of said Hudson action figure, and on the back of the box, well, you got photos of him as well. Little write-up for Greg Weisman's Gargoyles, right? Very cool. Check them out on Disney+. And, of course, all the other Gargoyles that have been revealed thus far. We're still waiting on Lexington, Brooklyn, and Broadway, so they're coming as well. Also, don't forget Thalog. He's in there too, so this marks Hudson as the 5th release for the Gargoyles line. And of course, in true NECA fashion, you open up the box, Velcroed, you get a nice photo of the figure, and hey, yeah, the figure itself is in there. Thank you to everyone for the creation of this figure, this line. It's coming out fantastic thus far. Again, the artwork is amazing. Here's the barcode. He is starting to hit Walmart store shelves now, so if you are looking, keep an eye out, because, that's where I grabbed mine. So, this is going to be fun. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee, maybe pull up that recliner, pop on the old television box, right? This is a look at the brand new Disney Gargoyles Hudson Ultimate Action Figure by NECA Toys. And, of course, once you undo a few twisty ties here and there, you pop old Hudson out of the packaging along with all his accessories and, get him all assembled. The wings are separate, the tail's separate. You get it by now. You get the idea. It's a fully assembled figure, right? But he does come with an assortment of extra hands, which is cool. He's got gargoyle clawing hands, weapon-holding hands, fisted hands. It looks pretty good. Nice paint overall. The sword is actually really nicely done. I like the silver, and then they have a little bit of a black wash to bring out the runes, and then you actually have the slice marks in his sword, which is cool. Now, one thing I want to point out, the reason I have the hand attached, is that the hand is very stiff, so you're going to have to heat it up to get the sword in there. The extra head portrait with the more snarling, his eyes roll back in his head, he's going wide-eyed. Yeah. It looks pretty dang good. This is an awesome extra head portrait. Really nailed the look of Hudson. You can hear Ed Asner's voice, right? Just right then and there. Because Hudson is pretty dang sweet. I got to give it to him. It's more so, this is not so much an action figure line anymore, more so like an art piece line that just happens to be articulated. The Hudson figure is by far, I think, my favorite of the bunch because of his accuracy. He just looks and resembles the animated look. Down to the wings, I mean, you see all the different marks and the creases. You got the little tears in his wings, and each wing is different, which is really nice. It's not like a photocopy flip. You guys, little distinct marks on each side, and it really helps to stand out amidst the paint and the black highlights and everything else. So it looks great. His belts, the little kilts, more or less, kind of draping down. His big old gut and his old man boobs, it looks great. He's got a little bit of a wash on his shoulder pads. He's got the scar on his eye. Everything is there. They nailed this. NECA Toys continues to show me with all their lines, especially the Cartoon Turtles line. They watch the show, they pay attention, and they know what the figures are supposed to look like in the cartoon sense. Now, they did go a little bit more hyper-realistic, right, which is fine. Keep in mind right here, the tail attaches, separate piece. But go really easy with Hudson, I would say. You might have to heat up a few things like the tail. The tail is a bendy wire. It does really help in standing him up, but you can move it to and fro and do what you like with it. But just go easy. Along with the wings. The wings are the usual huge wings, right? We all know by now if you've gotten into the NECA Gargoyles line. They are articulated, but in kind of pushing them back at the hinge, I cannot do it. I've even heated them up. Just something to keep in mind so that way you don't go twisting it the wrong way and they snap off. Because again, the wings are what scare me about this wave. They're very, very brittle-ish feeling. So always just keep that in mind. I'm just going to tell you right now. However, the wings look fantastic. The articulation is pretty dang solid. The head may be a little bit more minimally articulated because of his big old beard, but you get solid double jointed elbows. The arms will go out. He's got bicep swivels. So everything works in that sense. Not so much anything I needed to heat up in the actual articulation. The knees are good. He spins at the knees. He's got his big old gargoyle feet right there, which has some feet articulation. He does have weapon storage right there. He's got the little loop on his belts, so you can put his giant sword in there. You kind of have to make it work to get in there. You can slip it all the way down to the hilt. I don't recommend doing that because it was a sheer pain in the butt to get it back out. So just keep that in mind as well. But it fits in there accordingly. And it just looks great. I can't say enough nice things about Hudson. Hudson was one of my favorite gargoyle characters from the show. The very grandfatherly type character. It was just really cool always having. Plus, you know, he was J. Jonah Jameson, Ed Asner's voice. And honestly, in posing out Hudson and getting him all just situated, he looks great just standing there on your shelf. The only thing I would say that's missing is a recliner and a television set. Even the more roaring head, put the wings all the way up. It looks great, even with the sword, everything else. Now, again, I will say that I'm sure later down the road, as they've kind of already said, NECA said, they will be having more draped down wings with later figure releases, so I'm sure Hudson's will come about eventually. But just keep in mind, if you're going to put him in a Detolf, he is precisely one Detolf shelf wide for the wings and barely fits. You're going to have to put him at an angle. In looking at Goliath, when you got Bronx and you got his more draped down cape wings, that is the ideal way to display these. They're humongous. The wingspans are ginormous. You have all 4 gargoyles plus Bronx, minimal shelf space left at that point. So in putting all the wings down, just to kind of get an idea, Demona, her wings, very, very large. Hudson, Goliath, you get the idea. But they all scale well together. But I think my favorite duo right here, just this alone right here, having Hudson and Bronx sitting there together, they're great. These are my 2 favorite figures of the wave thus far. You can't beat these. They're just fantastic. And yes, like I said, don't forget Thalog, Demona, Hudson, Goliath, Bronx. You got 5 figures thus far. 3 more on the way. We've seen the tease of a few others here and there, some more human characters. So 2023, we see some more. But I have to say, I'm really enjoying how they're spacing these out. They're few and far between. It's nice to go, oh, it's another Gargoyles figure. Well, I have some room for that, as long as you put the wings down or take the wings off. You know what I mean? So it's a great line to collect, but keep the space in mind always. So that will wrap it up for my look at the brand new NECA Toys Disney Gargoyles action figure line, the Hudson. I always called him the Hudson because the way that when they were naming everything, he goes, well, I'll be the Hudson then. And I always thought that was kind of cool. Anyways, you've heard my thoughts. Curious to know yours? Comment below. Let me know. Let's talk everything the Hudson. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. As always, drink some great coffee, eat some great food, but most importantly, remember, when gargoyles come alive, evil can't survive. We are gargoyles. And when you do, let me know what you found. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios.